Previously on The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live.
To go back.
Your preferred temperature.
You're about to get it. You better back off. Back off.
Will be.
Where is that thing?
I think somebody needs to come by and destroy this thing.
Guys, shut the hell up!
It's a pretty straight up just dialogue episode, and I think that's why I love it so much, you know? She grabs a knife, she, of course, yells at him, says, I don't know who you are anymore. I don't know who you are, but this is not you. I actually did cry a little bit. I'll admit it, I did. There was a bit of me that was kind of getting emotional here. When you've got Rick that talks about Carl in his dreams, and how Carl disappeared. Well, I think we've had the biggest revelation of the entire series so far. We've gone from Father Gabriel to Bachelor Gabriel.
Are you through?
Oh, Lord!
Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for The Walking Dead universe, and in today's video we're going to be doing our weekly review for this week's episode of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. This one is my review for episode 5, titled Become. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today, this one's going to be doing a review for the Walking Dead universe, and in today's video we're going to be doing our weekly review. This one is for episode 5 of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. We have the one last episode left, and then Ones Who Live Season 1 will be done. I'm going to continue to say it though after this episode, in particular with one episode left. There is absolutely no way that we don't have a Season 2. There is way too much story being set up here for a second season. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, this episode right here, words to describe this is emotional somehow, action-packed, and absolutely insane. I mean, absolutely insane. This episode had everything, man. It really did. And I think the biggest surprise that everybody was probably floored about is, well, again, you know, big spoiler warning, the appearance of Father Gabriel. What the actual hell, man? So, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I heard about this a few weeks ago due to spoilers. They just can't keep this crap under wraps, but it was super amazing to see Gabriel. And not only to see Gabriel, but you find out as you watch this episode why he's in this episode. And it's really sad. It's really sad. So basically this episode starts, you've got Gabriel that's out here in the woods with his freaking machete, and again, so surreal to see. And he sees a helicopter pass him by, right? And he's like looking overhead and stuff like that. And he's just like, what the hell, you know? So basically, this episode kind of shows you these flashbacks of Gabriel where he was meeting with Jadis every single year, it sounds like, off terms with their groups, right? CRM didn't know that Jadis was meeting with him, and Alexandria didn't know that he was meeting with her. It was, closed in between the two of them, and that's it, right? And they would kind of just share knowledge with each other, not much, because Jadis doesn't say anything about her community, but they would just kind of catch up and see how each other are doing. So I found this interesting because these two are together, back in season 9, and Gabriel was dating Jadis, and also dating Rosita. So Gabriel has a little bit of play here, is what we learned. But no, in all seriousness, I really enjoyed seeing their interactions because it really developed a lot of, the stuff. And of course, my biggest question at first was like, okay, does he know that Jadis has Rick there, But obviously Jadis would not reveal that information. She never does, and that's just, what it is. But I thought the flashbacks really worked well because it kind of made sense. It was something I didn't know I needed until we got it, and then I was like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Jadis would have, connections with Gabriel because that's the stuff that they had going on in 9A. I just never assumed that they were talking on a year-to-year basis, but it sounds like they were. So pretty insane right there too. And I think, like I said, the way they kind of spliced this in the episode as the years go by, and then obviously in the final year, you get Jadis that kind of points a gun towards, Gabriel and stuff like that, but she lets him go. And, she says, oh, I'll see you next year. Gabriel's like, yep, I'll see you next year. And then in the current timeline, Jadis is dead and Gabriel is waiting for her, but she's not there, And I just thought all those flashbacks were so moving. I figured we'd start with that, with the review, is talk about those, but it was insanely done. I loved seeing Gabriel back again, something I didn't know I needed from this show, but it makes sense, like I said, because they had a huge connection in the main series. So definitely. And again, seeing Seth Gilliam kind of step back into that role, so good. I felt like, besides the spoiler that I heard a few weeks ago, they hit it well, because I didn't see any leaked photos of him on set. I didn't see nothing. So they did a great job, for the most part, keeping that a surprise. And it was really well done. It was really, really cool. And it got emotional near the end, because, Gabriel goes to check, and of course she's not there, and it's like, damn, man, I don't know, man. That hit more than I thought it would. That really, really did. But anyway, so here goes the current timeline, right? So Rick and Michonne are on the road. They find some noodles and stuff. It's called nudes, which I found was kind of hilarious. They even laugh at that, And anyway, they basically go inside, this like building and stuff. You've got Michonne and Rick that are looking like maybe for some gifts to bring back RJ and stuff. Rick finds like a junior sign, and he's like, is this something RJ would like? And she's like, he never was called Junior, And Rick's just like, I got to get him something. And she's like, well, you coming back to him is enough of a gift, right? Now you get a few, nice scenes. They're kissing and stuff like that, them reconnecting, of course, which is nice. And they basically end up running into a group of survivors out in the woods that are desperate for food. Now, I don't remember any of their names. I don't think they shared their names, but basically Rick and Michonne kind of get the upper hand of them, and basically they're like, yeah, we just want some food, So Rick and Michonne give them a little bit of food, then they try to leave, of course, and then, of course, the lead guy pulls a gun on them and says, nope, I want all your food, So, of course, Rick and Michonne, being the badasses that they are, they flip the switch on them, and Rick gets him down to the ground and points a very small python to him, which definitely, that was a nice touch. And basically, they leave them, right? But, of course, these guys, they're just hungry. They're not really bad people. They're just doing what they need to do to survive, and that's kind of the idea that we get behind these people. But they did betray Rick and Michonne when they tried to help them, so there is that as well, too. But, anyway, you've got these really cool stonewalkers that they kind of run into throughout this episode that are very hard to beat, Like, Rick has to, like, bash, and then Michonne has to stab, which I thought was really cool. And these walkers are in this episode a good amount, while you got Jadis that's coming after them. So, speaking of Jadis, you get a scene where Rick and Michonne are just sitting there having some liquor, just, kind of chilling. They fall asleep or whatever, and then basically you just hear morning lovebirds, and you see friggin' Jadis that's just like sitting there, and it's like, oh my god, what the hell, man. So she insists that she's gonna take them back. She insists that what she's doing means something in the Civic Republic, and I'm this and I'm that and this and that. But one of the things that Rick did point out is that he notices that she hates being called Anne, which means she's still responding to it, So there's something in there that's still there of the old, Anne that they took in. So Rick's a little split on if he wants to kill her, but it's a pretty insane scene because Jadis gets stabbed pretty badly. Rick and Michonne fight back, obviously, and then you get a huge car chase that goes down as Rick and Michonne are trying to run her down. And again, I love that they acknowledge this because it's definitely a very important piece of the story is that, Jadis took Rick away for 8+ years. She, absolutely wasted all that time that he could have had, with his son, with his daughter and his family and all that stuff. She took that away from them. And yes, she has a file in her place that, says exactly where Alexandria is. And that's one of the things that's nerve-wracking, right? Is that you kill Jadis, and they're going to go through her belongings, You kill Jadis, the CRM's going to go through her belongings and find that, So either way, you're screwed. Or Jadis takes Rick back, and then he never gets to Alexandria, So either way, it's a really split problem, and I like the writing because it's a big conflict. You don't know what the right answer is, and that's one of the things that this show has done very well is that what is the right answer, All 5 of these episodes, there's been those questions. What is the right answer? Is there a right answer? Is any which way you go about this the wrong answer, or is everything the wrong or right answer? That's the conflict I enjoy about the show. That's what I really enjoy about Ones Who Live, and I think that's what makes it my favorite spinoff is the layers to the writing, But that's just me. Now, in terms of the chase scene, I loved it. You've got a huge chase scene as they run her off the road. Of course, she's badly injured, which is really crazy. And she meets up with those, group of survivors that robbed them or tried to rob them earlier in the episode. And Jadis basically looks at the one girl and she's like, "You're tall," So she gets in there, of course, as bait for Jadis so that she can come in and surround Rick and Michonne. And well, then you get the final confrontation. You get Jadis that, of course, confronts them. Rick and Michonne kill all of the survivors, all the lone survivors that teamed up with Jadis. And you get Jadis versus Rick and Michonne. And in the end, they bait Jadis. They make it seem like they're going to go back. They make it seem like Rick's going to turn himself in and Michonne's going to walk away, and that's the way it's going to go. And that is not what they do. You've got Jadis that, of course, falls for this, and Michonne comes right around the corner with a damn gun and shoots her. And, of course, walkers get involved, and they start eating Jadis alive. So I thought it was awesome. And I love the scene, too, when Jadis faces off against Rick, and he's like, "You've looked better," I thought that was awesome. But yeah, Jadis is taken down. She's like bit on the neck at this point. She's gonna die. Basically, you've got Jadis that's sitting there. She's, saying her final words. And she says, she's like, "I lost all my people in the junkyard, I just wanted a group that would last. I wanted to die an artist, but, that's not going to happen now." And they did it really good, too, because they showed some flashbacks kind of in between, her final pieces of dialogue to kind of remember all the scenes we had with the character. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, man, we have been watching Jadis for so many years. Like, she is a huge character to lose. She really is. I didn't realize how big her death would be until it actually happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that's with y'all, but that's how I felt, at least. I was like, holy crap, man. Like, Jadis is dead. Like, damn, Even through predicting it this week, I just didn't expect it to hit that much, But Rick puts her out of her misery, and, they decide that they're going to go back to the CRM. Why? Because they're going to get the Echelon briefing, and they're going to get that file that Jadis has and get rid of it. That's the most important thing. With that, they'll never know where Alexandria is, which I still find hard to believe given the fact that they made deals with a junkyard that wasn't far away from Alexandria, but whatever, But regardless, that's Walking Dead's problem. This episode ends in a phenomenal fashion where you have Rick that proposes to Michonne, and basically, they make the proposal right then and there because they know they're going to go in the CRM, and God knows what's going to happen then, And I love that apparently Rick was talking to Gabriel about the idea of proposing to Michonne before the bridge went down. He gives Jadis the ring, and then Jadis gives it to Rick, and then Rick proposes to Michonne. That was beautifully done. That was absolutely amazing. So, in terms of this episode, I mean, I know you guys are going to call me generous again. Go ahead and call me generous all you want, but I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. I don't know, man. It's so damn good. I loved it. Like, Gabriel's back. Amazing. Even if it's for a flashback. I don't care. That's amazing. And we did see him in the current timeline. So I'm not saying it's impossible that we actually see him like with Rick and Michonne in a second season. I think that is something they could do, But yeah, no, man, I am so excited. Regardless of, what I think of Jadis and some of her crappy stuff, that was a really well done death. And that was a really good, told story. Jadis was a great villain, I must say, she was a great villain. And I'm going to miss her, but I'm very curious on General Buell next week. I'm very curious on that. So, let me know your thoughts. What did you think of episode 5, the penultimate of The Ones Who Live? Post comments down below. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos of The Walking Dead. Make sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead Reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys very soon for more videos of The Walking Dead universe. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.